How many of y'all woke up this morning and said, you know what, I'm going to be the greatest failure I can be? A couple of hands raised, and like, no, I mean, it's something that we do not set out to do, right? But on our road to success, sometimes failure does happen. Do you agree? Sometimes failure does happen when we're trying to succeed. So what do? Do we give up and quit? No, we don't give up and quit. We pick up and we get going and we move on. Now, it was said Howard Hughes was one of this might not be a real word, but I'm going to make it up, gazillionaire that was one of the richest men of all times. When he died, his board of directors notified the casinos that he owned and said, okay, hey, what we want y'all to do is shut down the casinos for 1 minute and observe a moment of silence. And that's respectable and that's cool. But it was observed, one of the pit bosses was sitting there watching his watch, and as soon as it hit the 60th second, said, he's had his minute, let's start rolling. That's kind of sad. And a lot of us, I want to ask you, how many of you going through life trying to achieve its success have something set you back and say, well, I've had my time, I quit? How many? I've had my time, I give up, I don't want to do anything else. How many of you, though, going through success, have a failure and other people are willing to point it out and say, hey, you've had your time, quit and move on? I'm here to tell you right now, that's a bunch of bunk. We're not going to do that. What we're going to learn tonight is how you can take success and move it to a different level than you've ever gone before. And in areas that you fail in time and time again, which if you're like me, you fail. I'm a bad husband. I make mistakes all the time. Just ask my wife. I make mistakes, but I'm not going to quit. I'm going to stay with what I do. And that's what you need to do. And we're going to do that today with this. Wham. Wham stands for Whole Health Action Management. It can stand for anything that you want. But the thing is you have to get to a point in life where you say, no matter what comes at me, wham, I'm going to push through and I'm going to move through. And I'm going to show you a couple of matrices tonight to help you achieve that success in your life. Because if you don't take these two things that I'm going to show you tonight, when setbacks does occur, when failures do occur, it will deter you from keep moving on and reaching your dreams, and nobody in here wants that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to show you this matrix. I hope it's on the board. I can't see over the screen. There should be a column down the left, a column across the top. Is that what's showing? Not yet? How about now? Pay no attention to the man behind the screen. That's from the Wizard of Oz. If you look down the left, you will see a series of activities in your life. You will see intellectual. You will see spiritual. You will see occupational. You will see environmental. You will see physical. You will see a whole multitude of areas that every one of us have in our life. And that's not an all-inclusive list, because you can also add family and you can add anything in there. But across the top there is the most important thing that I want you to take out of this. There's 5 steps in any area that you want to list on that left column that if you want to be successful in, this will help you guarantee success. Now, if you're like me, growing up, from the moment I was born, I had my parents telling me what to do, what they wanted me to achieve, what they wanted me to achieve after I graduated from high school. And to me, that was a setback, because that isn't what I wanted. That isn't what I wanted to do. And if I'm telling you what you need to do, most likely you're not going to do it. However, if you come to me and you say, hey, Steve, I've got this goal that I want to achieve, that now becomes a self-centric goal, a goal that you want, that you become more motivated to achieve. Do you see the difference in that? Me telling you what you should do and you telling me what you want to do, which one are you more inclined to do? You see the difference in that. But the second thing in that is you can come to me and say, Steve, in each one of those areas, in my intellect, in my spirituality, in my physical, whatever area it is, I have a goal. Having a goal isn't enough. You now need to create an action plan to achieve that goal. Because if it's important enough for you to have a goal, it's important enough to you to have a plan to achieve that goal. Do you agree with that? How many of y'all have ever heard that expression? Those who fail to plan to do what? Plan to fail. That's in any area of your life, including intellect, physical, whatever it is. If you do not plan to succeed, you are planning to fail. That is the way it is. The third area in this matrix that you want to look at is a daily or weekly log. And you need to write that, because here's the thing is, even no matter how successful we are trying to be, no matter how successful that we want to be, you are going to have setbacks. But on the opposite side of that, you are going to have successes. So you need to create, some of people like daily logs. That's not me. I can't write and journal daily. But some people need to do it at least weekly. And what you do is you're keeping track of your setbacks and your failures. And you look back on that and you realize, I tried this, it didn't work. I need to modify this. I need to do this. But you can also look back, I tried this and it worked. So guess what? I need to keep doing this. I mean, it's a whole concept that we need to do. But when we look at all areas that I have listed up there, that's the only way that you can achieve success in life. So now that you've created a person-centric goal, you have created an action plan to achieve that goal, you're keeping up with a daily and weekly log to monitor success and setbacks, there's two more steps you need to involve. You need to involve an accountability partner. And in some of these, it's kind of easy. Like if you're going to be workout, if you want to, let's say, I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, you go find an accountability partner to go work out with you to help you stay accountable to achieve your goal that you set for yourself. You see how important an accountability partner is? They help keep you motivated to do that. They need to do that. And then the last aspect on this to achieve any of these goals is a support group. And again, on some of those areas that are listed up there, support groups are easy. If it's spiritual, what do you think your support group is? Your church, you're right. If it's physical, your support group is a gym you join. Okay, but what about intellect? Who would be your support group for your intellect? The college, the classmates that you have, which you can also find a study partner that becomes your accountability partner. That is the only way in any area of these lives, in any of these aspects of your life, that you can guarantee success in your life. Now I'm going to ask somebody to come up here. His name is Chris. He normally works behind the scenes. He's our cameraman. So y'all give Chris a big round of applause. And I'm going to ask him to be part of it. You got to come up here because you're the one that told me I can't come down there. So you're going to stand down there expecting to see. So he's wanting me to. So I want you to watch this. He was going to catch. Now let me ask you this. You may sit down. Everybody give him a round of applause real quick. Now you're thinking that's kind of corny, but let me show you something. If I would have let go with that piece of paper, what would have happened? It would have hit him, right? Okay, let's take him now. We're taking him out of these walls of this chapel. We're going to take him to the railroad tracks, all right? We're going to take him to the railroad tracks. We're going to put him on the middle of those railroad tracks, and here comes a train coming. You see the light, the whistle's blowing, you hear the horn and everything, and he's going to go, what's going to happen? He's going to get ran over. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that there's too many of us, and I'm including me in you, in this room that keeps getting ran over by the same railroad tracks in life. Why? Because we stand there and we take him, and what do we need to do? Move, right? All you have to do is move off those tracks and you don't get hit by the same train over and over again. Too many of us are failing in one of those areas because we keep getting ran over by the same train over and over and over again, but we're unwilling to move, M-O-V-E. And that's an acronym, and I'm going to teach you in my last few minutes here of what MOVE stands for. The M in MOVE means motivate. And I'm going to tell you right now, I could stand up here and I can tell you great knowledge, but I cannot motivate you to do a dadgum thing. Unless you become motivated to improve your life in any one of these 8 areas, plus any other area that you want to add to that, there's nothing that you can do to achieve success unless you become motivated yourself. So I can't motivate you. I can push you. I can give you motivation, but you have to take that to motivate your own self. Do you agree? Does that make sense? Okay, now O in MOVE has to deal with time. And time, a lot of people talk about time. That there's a word that starts with O that people say you should blank, starting with O, your time. Somebody guess what that O stands for? Organize. Who said organize? You're wrong. He's like, dadgummit, I had a surprise if you had it right, but no, you got it wrong. It's not organized, because let me tell you why it's not organized your time. My daughter got married several years back, and we hired one of those things called a wedding planner, in other words, way to spend money, a wedding planner, and she had the wedding organized to the T. At this time you show up, at this time you show up, at this time the doors open and you walk down. That was great organization, but none of that meant nothing unless my son-in-law showed up, right? All that organization did absolutely no good unless my son-in-law optimized the time, which means do with the time you have the most you can do with. Okay, so organization means nothing. It's what you do with the amount of time that you have. Even where you're at, you can optimize your time to achieve the success that you want to achieve in your life. Or you can say, boy, I'm going to organize it, put it in your back pocket, and nothing gets done. So that's MO, motivate and optimize. The V in move stands for validate. Too many times we come up with reasons to quit. It's too much harder to come up with reasons to keep trying. We need to learn to motivate ourselves. And the greatest story that I ever think of is the story of David and Goliath in the Bible. When he went to face Goliath, he said, because I faced the bear and because I defeated the lion, I can defeat this. So I'm telling you right now, because of the trouble that you're going through right now, because of the circumstances that you've overcome right now, any of these things that is listed on the board and anything that you add to it, you can achieve it and you can go past it because you can validate yourself that you're a winner. But we sit back and we want to look at our failures too much. We don't want to do that. So that's M-O-V-E. What's the M stand for? Motivate. What's the O? What's the V? Validate. Let me tell you this right now. If you come up with something in your life that you've got to motivate yourself for, that you've got to optimize your time and you've got to validate yourself, let me tell you what, it's not going to be a bed of roses. It's going to be a heartache sometimes. Well, that's where the E comes in. That means endure. It means you're going to have to endure the hard times that come along. But if you're motivated, that ain't going to stop you. If you're stopped during the hard times, you wasn't motivated to begin with. So you need to endure down through the hard times because guess what? The hard times ain't going to last forever. You're going to start to rise up. Things are going to start being successful, but guess what? You're going to come back down a little bit again. It's life. Ups and downs. Do you agree that life has its ups and downs? Too many times we, and again I include myself, quit when it becomes hard. That's when we need to become more motivated and push ourselves through by optimizing our time and validating ourselves that I can achieve the goals that I have on there because I've created a goal that involves me. I've created an action plan that involves me. I journal my successes. I have an accountability partner called a wife, and I have support groups in every one of those areas of my life. I cannot fail. Can I make mistakes? Yes. Can I have some trouble along the way? Yes. But I will not quit and I will not give up. I will achieve my goal, and that's what I wish for you. Thank you for having me today.